Just us.
Just us.
If you thought the Warriors were going to be able to put on a repeat performance and beat the Nuggets in their second meeting, you were sorely wrong. Unfortunately, the Warriors lost in a pretty pathetic way, I would say. Very lifeless. Not a single moment did they seem like a threat. And worst of all, the Nuggets didn't seem like they were playing very hard at all.
Yeah, the final score was 129 to 104. There were points in the game where I thought maybe we could claw back, but by the third quarter, my thought was, how much are we going to lose by?
Yeah, I think start of second quarter, I realized this was going to be a game that we'd never come back from. I think the deficit was too much in the beginning. They got it to like almost equal by end of the first quarter, halftime maybe. I can't remember, one of those 2 quarters. And even then, I had no glimmer of because I could just see the way they were playing. It was full of turnovers. Jimmy seemed like he was just not engaged in the game. Moses wasn't hitting his shots. Pods is starting to annoy me now with his turnovers. Dre was the only one that was actually putting in the work. If
He
I
had
had to
5
guess,
three-pointers.
he was our leading 3-point scorer.
You would be right.
Maybe even leading scorer. Who was the leading scorer?
The leading scorer, we had Draymond with 17,
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler with 16, Quinton Post with 14.
Yeah, so Anthony Slater posted this on Twitter. The Warriors gave up 32 points, 34 points, 33 points, and 30 points by quarter tonight in Denver to get blown out. They went 4 for 1 in their first 5 games and then 1 for 4 in the next 5. So they're 5-5 now, middle of the pack. Only 10 games in, but quite a dissipation of the momentum and good vibes that started the season, I think.
Yeah, I'd say these are like bad vibes now.
Yeah, atrocious vibes.
Really bad. I mean, we don't even have much to say about the game itself. It was, sloppy. Players weren't hitting shots.
Yeah.
Riddled with turnovers again.
Yeah.
And just lack of defensive effort.
Yeah, I think the most frustrating, concerning thing for me was towards the end of the last season, it felt like we could be a team that doesn't have to rely on Steph Curry entirely. With Jimmy there, that felt like a very real possibility as a kind of support. This season, it feels like we're back to, this team is entirely reliant on Steph Curry. If Steph Curry isn't on the court, we're losing pretty much.
Yeah, and for those of you that didn't tune into the last episode we had announced that Steph Curry was not going to be playing in this game. He still is battling an illness. We think it's a pretty bad cold. He didn't travel with the team to Denver, so he missed the last game and this game.
He's eating chicken soup in bed and watching his team embarrass themselves. But yeah, there's not much positive to talk about it, and even if I try my best to try and be optimistic about where we're going, I think that now is not the time for me to summon that. I feel pretty frustrated and demoralized by the way that I can only imagine how they feel doing that. It's not like they want it to go this way, but I feel like they very quickly kind of gave up, and you could see it in their movement. Jimmy was not running with any sort of purpose.
I think he might still be injured, or he's not fully recovered yet.
I would probably agree with that. He was out in the last game due to a back strain. That's not going to go away instantly. That requires a little bit of time. And then after a single play early in the first quarter, he was stretching his left shoulder because that was seemingly bothering him. But regardless, the entire time he wasn't really moving with purpose. When he was under the rim and got the opportunity to go up and bait a foul or try and get a bucket, he did do that, but there was nothing beyond that. There was no extra effort to try and make things happen. The kind of only players that came on and seemed to inject a little bit of life into what they were doing was Pat Spencer and TJD, but it didn't feel like the energy impact they were having was on the team. It felt like they were isolated energy players. They were doing everything they were doing for themselves with no support from anyone else. It's very kind of I'm gonna play as best as I can.
To
No
try
one
and get
else.
minutes for the
Yeah,
next
try and
game.
get
Yeah.
minutes, or get some experience in, try and get some buckets, whatever it may be. And even if the team were clearly trying to play together, but there was zero cohesion.
No cohesion at all. Let's talk about some other stuff. Today, the game was being broadcast on Prime Video, which was really annoying.
That's where the bad vibes started.
It really did start there. First of all, we couldn't find the channel, right? We have YouTube TV. We also have our local NBC Sports Bay Area channel. We kind of freaked out.
It's because we don't even think about Amazon Prime Video being a platform where NBA games or sports is shown. That was the big deal that they inked during the off season, right?
Yeah, and for the first 5 minutes that we tuned in, there was literally no audio.
No,
We
it was.
thought something was broken. We
Yeah,
thought it was maybe our TV or like what we didn't know what was happening, but there was just a major glitch on
yeah.
Amazon's side.
They clearly had a production issues. They kept cutting away to graphics, and then cutting back to on-court interviews with no audio, realizing that the audio isn't fixed, then cutting away to graphics, but not having any sort of voiceover or music to kind of serve as a bed for what people are seeing, and then cutting back to the court where the problem still wasn't fixed, and that happened right up until tip
Pretty
off.
much tip off,
Yeah,
yeah. And the
exactly.
commentators they lacked a lot of energy as well. I mean, I
I'm not
was not a
familiar with
fan.
them, but they at least the one thing you can say is all the other platforms, all the other networks, even if the team is losing, at least you can get some value out of what they're saying.
I got no value out of
These,
anyone
I don't
today.
know what these guys were talking about. They
No.
just kind of were like point. I don't mean to be rude, but I think I could do a better job of commentating because they were just pointing out normal, obvious things that were happening. They were just describing what was happening, and that is the function of a commentator. But zero analysis, no further like discussion about what's going on.
Yeah,
Not even,
it
not
wasn't
even,
layered at
yeah,
all.
not even completely disengaging from the game to just have banter with themselves.
Yeah.
Like
They
just
were
make
not having
jokes.
fun.
They were just like it was like sliced white bread if it could be a commentator dynamic. It's
Yeah.
so boring.
And if we could provide some more context on how the Amazon Prime broadcast was during timeouts and as they were transitioning to commercial, which there were so many commercials.
Yeah.
But as they were transitioning to commercials, usually they have some music. They were playing emo punk rock music. I will say I loved the song.
The songs
It was
are
good. It was
good
by
songs.
Good
Good
Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. I mean, like those
But
songs that I love hearing, but
actually, it was the same song over and over and over again. The anthem by Good
yeah, this
Charlotte.
is the anthem,
You'll know it if
yeah.
you grew up being an emo kid. But it
Which
just
you did.
I did. I was an emo kid. It just
Refuses
wasn't the
to show me
vibe.
any pictures of it.
Yeah, you can see me in my. I wore the NorCal jacket and I had the Converse shoes. That's how
Okay,
emo I
the
was.
uniform.
Yeah. But anyway, that's not the vibe of the NBA. Like, play some Kendrick Lamar, do some like hip hop, rap. I don't want to be
No,
hearing
even
punk rock during timeouts or
anything that
transitions.
has like a
Some
kind
beat.
of hype beat to it. This was just like genuine like emo music or like 2000s era like rock
Yeah,
teenage rock
who's
band.
their target
I
audience? I
have
mean, they must be.
no idea.
Were they A/B testing something? Maybe we got the
Yeah.
punk rock and someone else got something
I'm not
else.
I'm not being rude, but like not to age us, but that music is going to be enjoyed by olds. Like the olds, which I'm including myself in
You
there.
mean the Olden State Warriors?
The Olden State Warriors. Like the audience that is like enjoying that music is also probably been watching basketball long enough to go, what the it just did not match what was going on. Like it would
Not at
cut,
all.
it would be playing Good Charlotte, and then it would cut to like Aaron Gordon shooting a three or like a replay, and it's just like, what is going on? This is atrocious.
We have one more rant,
Yeah.
and it was the court. Because, okay, so for those of you who
We're being
don't
very
know,
negative because obviously we have just come off a massive L. But I will say this is something that we have been between us complaining about since 2 seasons ago, whenever the in-season tournament began.
yeah, so this was an NBA Cup game brought to you by Emirates.
Yeah.
And it's basically an in-season tournament where you have group play in a tournament style, and your wins and losses mean something for certain games. So there's like a champion for the in-season tournament. I forget who it was last year.
Lakers, I think.
Was it the Lakers?
I think so.
Might have been like the Bucks or Lakers or something.
Yeah,
But anyway, they try and do special stuff to hype up these very specific games throughout the season, and they change the court. They have like special T-shirts for the audience. They kind of go all out. The court was red
it's
in Denver.
garish.
It was jarring
Genuinely, when I looked at the TV, I had to like squint a bit because it was like my eyes were straining to follow the ball and the player
because the
movements.
ball is orange, the court is red.
Yeah,
I do wonder if it impacted play at all.
I doubt it. From that perspective, I mean, I imagine visibility wasn't great, and it probably affected readability of movement in the same way that it was for us. But also, it's just like
But why?
it feels like they got a bunch of kids together and laid out a big pack of Crayola and told them to pick one, and then whatever color they picked was the, because this one's, I think is it Dallas or maybe the Timberwolves have an even more gross court. It's so bad that the Dallas one, that my friend texted me and he was like, I had to check whether this was real, and it is real, and it is genuinely, like, he sent me an image of it and I was like, that is a crime. People should not be allowed to put that on a court. It's crazy. Look, I will show you.
Oh
It's
my.
lime green.
That looks like a green screen.
It genuinely looks like a green screen, to the point where I'm tempted to go in and green screen something.
That'd be great. The Warriors have a specific NBA Cup court, and it's pretty good.
I think I
It's
also
muted.
don't like it.
It's
But
light
it's
gray.
muted. Yeah,
It's
it's
gray,
muted. Yeah.
kind of like gray, black, yellow. So a little bit more neutral
The
in
ball
color
looks like it will
palette.
stand out.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just not, it doesn't hurt your eyes to look at. I wouldn't say it's like, I'm not trying to say, oh, the Warriors have a much better court. It's like, no, it doesn't look great, but at least they were courteous enough not to blind everyone looking at it.
true.
So we'll take that as a W because it's the only W we're getting today.
Yeah. Should we talk about the next game?
Yeah, the next game is going to be against the Pacers, I believe.
Yes,
on
Indiana
Sunday.
Pacers on Sunday, 5:30 Pacific time start. It's at home, so we've been doing better at home than on the road.
Inshallah.
But many of our games have just started on the road. We have one of the most brutal starts to the season.
That's
Multiple
something that,
back-to-backs. I mean, it's tough. Like 12 games in whatever 8 different cities spanning 2 weeks, whatever the case might be. Like it's not fair, I think.
yeah, I think that's the one thing I keep coming back to try and remind myself it's an 82 game season. We have a pretty rough schedule. Like, even looking at other teams, we have amongst the worst schedules, back to backs. And also, like, the Warriors are a team that has like a mid-season slump usually. If they want to get that slump out of the way now, I'm happy for them to do that. If they want to get through all their injuries and all that kind of business, that's not to say they won't injure themselves later, but like, hopefully Steph won't be catching a cold, 2 months from now, because he's hopefully got those antibodies still in him. But I'm trying to remind myself that there is still plenty of time for a bounce back. I mean, we were doing absolutely atrocious last season, worse than what we were doing so far here in this season. And then we got Jimmy, and things kind of went up enough to get us in the playoffs and be contenders. And again, it really frustrates me that if Steph is not available, we're done. And the other thing that we talked about as a potential bright spot is we still don't have DeAnthony Melton or Seth Curry. DeAnthony Melton, great at defending and also very willing to do mid-range shots, which the rest of the players on the Warriors seem to be just allergic to.
Yes, like we can only make threes or layups, and recently we've been missing both of those.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't even have a mid-range player to go to.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. And yeah, Seth is a great three-point shooter. He's, not on the same caliber as Steph, but I would say he's as good as Buddy. And
Buddy has been really
Buddy's
bad.
been, to quote my young nephew, a doo-doo head. Okay, that's how he's playing. He's playing like he's a doo-doo head. Okay, he's just rolling in, fouling, shooting 1 3, maybe making it, and then shooting 8 threes and just rattling them off.
He missed a wide open layup.
That is the other thing that is driving me insane. The layups are, and it's worse when you see them miss a clean layup where they should have be able to do it because they're under very little pressure. And then on the other side of the court, on the very next play, Jokic is being hounded by two players, and he just twists and from a distance just hook shots it in consistently.
I
He's
know.
Jokic, but like your your face is in the net. Just put the ball
I
in there.
do wonder if they need to like sage the basket or the ball or like do some kind of alternative healing type of exercise. You know what I mean?
I would like to see what their kind of practice is for layups. I feel like it's such a fundamental part of the game that they might just be overlooking it and being like, we don't need to go hard on practicing layups. They're layups. Whereas this team needs to really, really, really practice their fundamentals and work on making layups under pressure because that's
And
what
yeah,
is going to happen.
both defended and undefended layups.
Yeah, we had layups where it was no one was gonna stop them from making the layup,
Yeah.
and it was like clear as day. Like there were people around them, but it was like you've gone up, no one else is around you. This is good. You're fine, and it just goes it sails over the basket, and it's just like, oh my god, you guys relax. All right,
I'd say the last couple of performances have been embarrassing.
yeah.
I feel embarrassed. And
I remembered an idea that I had a little while back that we discussed that we never actually did, but I think we should start doing it because it could help. A boobies and butthole.
yeah.
You want to explain boobies and butthole?
Yeah, it's like kind of like Peak and Pit or Rose and Thorn
Yeah,
where
we use
he's
this as a daily boobies and butthole thing. We at the end of the day we'll talk
yeah,
about our
like
boobies,
what's good and what
what's
was bad.
So what are your boobies and what are your buttholes for the? Let's start with the buttholes
Lots
for
of
the game.
buttholes.
Yeah, a lot of buttholes.
I'd say turnovers, missed layups,
Hmm.
and I think Jokic ended up with a triple double.
Yeah,
He's averaging a triple double this season. I hate when he gets a triple double.
yeah.
So
What about your boobies?
I think, were there any boobies for this game?
Um, we're one game closer to Steph Curry coming back.
That's true.
That's one boobie.
I truthfully can't think of any other ones.
We're one day closer to the Anthony Melton and Seth Curry joining us.
True.
So there you go. Those are our boobies and buttholes for this game. Please look forward to the next one.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have more robust thoughts
Discussions.
and
I mean, I
discussion
think
for
we
the
had
next game.
I think unfortunately we're on a. That's the worst thing about doing a podcast where about a sports team that is just shit in the bed right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to raise spirits around that, and if you're recapping a game and then analyzing it, nothing good's gonna come of it. You know, it's not gonna be a joyous, uplifting discussion.
Right, but please look forward to our longer podcast episode coming out soon. We're going to be talking about some events around the city, some
Mm-hmm.
things that have been Warriors related. We'll talk about Steph Curry's book, Shot Ready.
We'll talk about Steve Kerr and his take on artificial intelligence.
Yeah, we went to a chat with Steve Kerr and Sam Altman. Arguably the most boring dude I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's impressive how obvious it is that Steve Kerr is smarter than Sam Altman.
He's a genius compared to Sam Altman.
Yeah. But anyways, you can hear more about our opinions on Sam Altman and Steve Kerr on that episode, which hopefully will be up this weekend. Please do remember to subscribe and like and share the episode, especially if on YouTube. Even if you're listening on a podcast app, just fire up YouTube and go in there, and give it a watch for a few minutes. Just put it on in the background, let it go through. It's only like an hour, or it's only like 10 minutes, and then hit the like button, maybe comment, and yeah, that helps us massively. And if you're on a podcast service, just a like and review will be very, very helpful.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Just us on three. 1, 2, 3. Just
Just
us.
us.